you tired of the typical libraries with conventional music that makes your Leerecs.com? The music website made for and by minds like you. Our team are lifelong musicians and producers in love with music. Search the Leerecs music catalogs and find music with guaranteed originality. Mark the difference with music of signature at Leerecs.com.
I thought that this is a fantastic track. It has so much personality, so unique, and characteristic sound that I would call, very, very New York Metro, I would say. I really, really love it. This is Rendezvous by Subway Rat, And we have with us the person behind this music, David. How's it going?
Hey, I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Wonderful. So David is a relatively new artist, right? So this is your first single, isn't it?
Yeah. First single. Just released a couple months ago. And I actually just started singing and writing songs last year, a little over a year ago. So this is all very new for me. I've always been somewhat of a writer, poems and stories and essays. And then recently, I've been able to convert it into some music. So I'm really glad you like it. Thanks for the compliment.
No,
pretty
absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah, this is very, very impressive. Honestly, I wouldn't say that. This is so new for you. You can tell there's background as a creative, let's say, like a writer, like you were saying.
Right.
But it's so impressive. So how did you learn? Like, how did you make the music? Essentially, tell us that.
Totally. Yeah. There's kind of two stories to how this all came together. There's kind of the emotional life changes that send someone towards art and music, and then there's the more technical kind of how I figured out how to put it all together. Let me start with the technical, maybe just so that people get a idea of what I was doing, and then we can get into more of the maybe backstory after. But long story short, I basically I started writing some lyrics down, and it wasn't until I found he's a guitarist actually. His name is Paco Lee on YouTube, and this kid, he's a Canadian guitarist, indie guitarist. And then he also recently just started producing beats. And basically, I just found someone who's making these really cool, like you said, kind of New York style guitar strokes kind of vibe. I think that was our common link. I'm a big fan of the Strokes, and so is he. So I think my words and his beats kind of matched. From there, though, I didn't want to do a lackluster effort. I can get kind of intense sometimes. So I ended up taking the track I buy the track from Paco Lee. I end up taking the track, and then I went to a Lounge Studios in Times Square. It's a professional studio.
All right.
I think Atlantic Records used to record out of there exclusively for a while. And I just kind of booked the session, and my first idea was just, let me see if I can put this together and show off some of my songwriting skills. But by the end of that first session, which was actually just a few months ago, in February, I think was the first session. Basically, I just kind of found that I did have my own unique sound that was worth kind of going all in. So I spent a few hours with some multi-platinum there's a bunch of like platinum records on the wall in the studio, so it was pretty intimidating, but I basically went in there with a effort attitude and without much training or anything. I gave it my best shot. I think Rendezvous was just 1 or 2 takes, and I think it's kind of that punk ethos of just like, screw what the rules are. Let's just see what we can come up with. And what's also cool is the engineers were able to enhance the track itself. They kind of bumped up the bass a little bit more and kind of gave it a little bit of a signature Subway Rat, kind of danceable indie rock, pop fusion kind of sound. So that's been my process. Paco has a bunch of beats, or I've been talking with him directly, and he'll send me stuff. I'll write some stuff, and then I'll head to the studio with my guys over there, and that's what we've been doing.
Wow. Oh, that's a very interesting story, actually. Paco Lee, okay, I'll do a little search and I'll see, follow and
check him out.
Wow.
Yeah,
all right.
thepacolee.com if I want to give him a plug. thepacolee.com.
All right.
Maybe I shouldn't tell all my secrets, but if anyone wants to go buy his beats, go for it.
I see. Well, regardless, going back to the sound, I don't know. I don't know where to put my finger on, but definitely when I was listening to this song for the first time, it took me. If whoever has walked through Manhattan or somehow was picturing, and I don't know what it is, but those lonely subway waits or the what's that? What's the New Jersey Railroad or something?
NJ Transit, LIRR,
that's
subway. Right. There's the shuttle buses. Yep. You're hearing it in the music, huh?
Totally. There's something somehow. It's like I was waiting on Secaucus for the stupid train to come in the winter. It's
totally.
Yeah. I really loved it. And I think a lot of people can appreciate it, absolutely.
Thank you. I actually do, Subway Rat is kind of a cool little stage name, but I really do take the subway every day. I live right by the 7 train a few blocks away. I grew up in Queens, going into the city with friends after school, and I think maybe it's seeped into my DNA a little bit. And it's that driving, that drum beat that really kind of gets the heart rate going, sort of like you're saying, like you're waiting for a train or you're about to get on a train, or pretty cool.
I gotta tell you also, the voice is so just learn to sing, like it's good. That's what I'm saying. It's good. It's good voice. So what's that secret behind the vocal?
Good question. At first I was self-conscious about the voice, of course, and actually when I started writing these songs, I was almost just whispering, in my apartment, just trying to get the melodies. And if I'm being honest, my original plan was just to write for other artists, because I didn't really have much faith in my voice. But before I ever got into the recording studio, I started putting on little shows for my friends and family. Little, 10-person, mom and dad come and hear me sing. And at first it was kind of like, it was a little awkward, if I'm being honest, because imagine, someone you've known for years suddenly wants to become a singer and invites you to the show. It's kind of like, oof, this might go poorly. But after a couple of those, I started to get more confident, I guess. And the big thing is, and this is maybe a key to the music as well, is during the pandemic, actually, during the lockdown, my hobby became music. I became super obsessed with learning all the things about music that I kind of missed. Growing up in Queens, I grew up on 50 Cent and Sean Paul and Usher and Chris Brown and kind of this hip hop, kind of R&B pop kind of sound. But then during lockdown, I wanted to do my due diligence. I started with the Beatles. I collected I think I have all of the Beatles records. And then I got into the Strokes. I have all the Strokes records. I'm looking at my collection right now. And then I found Iggy Pop and Velvet Underground and Lou Reed. I was kind of doing a New York City deep dive, I think. Talking Heads. And then David Bowie, kind of the 70s post-punk REM, new wave stuff. And I basically was listening to all this music of these guys, Bob Dylan, of these dudes who, some ladies too, although I will admit, I think I was trying to connect with something subconsciously trying to find like my own niche in this music world. But yeah, these guys aren't traditional singers. These guys didn't always go to, Ramones and The Clash and Nirvana. These guys didn't go to music school. So I think I was just inspired by hearing a bunch of maybe non-singers create beautiful songs. And really is the feeling, right? All those old records, like they make you feel something. And I think that's what I'm trying to evoke, or what I was able to evoke, where I started with a little it's kind of a whispery tone in the beginning. I think that Julian Casablancas from the Strokes kind of taught me that it doesn't really matter. You can make great music even if no one even really knows what you're saying, and you're kind of mumbling and you're kind of talk singing. And they made a whole, it's incredible, dancey, awesome, emotional music, especially when you get into the lyrics. So I think I started with that, but then when the chorus hits, something struck me in the studio. I think like, the ghost of Bruce Springsteen or something came out and, NJ Transit, and just said, you know what, just try to belt this part, see what happens. I've always thought I couldn't sing. I've never thought I could sing. I have a good voice. I think I've always been able to project well. I've always I've done dance performances and like little speeches and stuff. I've been able to like get up on stage and hold a room maybe. But yeah, I just started singing and the emotion carried it. Maybe we can get into the, maybe like all great music, this all started with a heartbreak, if I'm being honest. a rough breakup basically helped me find my voice. And I've just been getting a little more confident day by day.
Well, I think that number one, I agree with a lot of things that you said, especially those great singers that never went to any school. There's definitely no need for that. If you pay attention and practice enough. But what is most surprising is that you essentially learned to sing while you were in the studio performing your song.
Yeah, I kind of have. Yeah, I think that's true. I think it was also the producers there. They kind of like they kind of let me do my thing, but they gave me a little vote of confidence, and so I walked in with the song in my head, but then once I'm singing it in the booth, yeah, I get it kind of felt like I was struck by lightning, and my brain goes, "You should probably like scream this part and see what happens." And they, the mix is the real master. They made, the mix and the master are the real stars. They kind of they made it all kind of sound very nice and blend together. And I've been practicing my my live singing voice to do some gigs soon to promote all this new music.
Wonderful.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. It is a little strange, and actually, a lot of my friends and family are still kind of wrapping their heads around it. I think it kind of came out of nowhere.
I only can think or assume that it was meant to be. So sometimes you gotta be thankful for things that in the moment look like they were really bad.
Yeah.
But
you're right.
Yeah, but you don't know where it's going to take you.
There's a quote I like. I forget where it's from. I think it was in a show I saw, but it's just where there is ruin, there is hope for treasure.
Oh.
So when the Titanic, that's good, right?
Oh, it's really good, actually. Very, very good. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been. I have a pretty good attitude when like things go wrong, quote unquote. I tried, I mean, don't get me wrong, I was very depressed and maybe still processing things, but it was over a year ago now. But I think it unlocked something in me. Actually, if you want to get a little real, I think something like a breakup kind of causes you, especially like it was my college sweetheart, we've known each other 10 years, like it kind of causes you to just reset and just reevaluate where you're at, where you're going, what you want to do, what your life is. So I have a day job that I wasn't, that pays the bills, but it's not just, I was getting exhausted really, and I wasn't paying enough attention probably to my relationship and probably to myself, definitely. So once you get your heart broken and all seems lost, I kind of, I did a lot of introspection, a lot of digging. Music, obviously. Music, I dove into the songs I love. And I think singing along to these quote unquote these kind of alternative, if you could call it, back then. Now, all that old music just sounds like classic rock, but back then it was very alternative to sing the way that David Bowie was singing or whatever. So that's kind of the comfort I found. Like, okay, my voice has this little pocket. What I'm excited about is a lot of my new tracks, I've discovered even more range, and I'm getting a little more control of the voice and all that kind of stuff. So this is my first track, and my first studio session, and my first song I ever wrote.
That's amazing.
So now I'm like, oh, thank you. They talk about a formula, like music has a little formula. I feel like I've stumbled upon, I like connecting dots in my head, so I feel like I've stumbled upon a nice little connection of dots that I've been, I've basically poured all my blood, sweat, and tears into it in the last year and a half or 2 years or so.
Well, the good news is that you have arrived here, and going back to the train station and this subway metaphor,
I love
right?
it.
And you don't know where
Totally.
this train is going to take you to. So
you're right. It's very scary and exciting right now.
And that's the fun of it. That's the best part. So,
Totally.
David, Subway Rat, thank you so much. Been an absolute pleasure. A lot of things discussed. Very, very thoughtful, and
Thank you.
A lot of lessons, really. So, all the best, and
Cool.
keep us posted. Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. I would love. This is a awesome opportunity for me, and I appreciate your time and your interest in the songs, and I have a ton more. I'm going full steam ahead, so I'll keep you posted, and I should have an album coming out, a 12-track debut album in the next maybe in the next month or two. So I'll keep you posted, and we'll and let's do it. Let's dance. I hope you guys. I hope you all enjoy.
Yes, definitely, and a lot of people will too. And the good thing is that you will help with your own pass through this experience. You will help a lot of people that might feel the same way you were feeling a year ago, or throughout.
Yeah.
So wonderful
That's really
track.
nice. Thank you.
Your voice has a lot of presence and uniqueness, which is sometimes what is missing these days. So keep on, don't lose it, the freshness. Don't lose the freshness. Just ensure that you won't break it. It will last you for all your life.
Oh, that's incredible. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Hope you have a good one.
You as well. Okay, let's hear a little bit more of Rendezvous.
Of the typical libraries with conventional music that makes you feel meh. Introducing Leerecs.com, the music website made for and by minds like you. Our team are lifelong musicians and producers in love with music. Search the Leerecs music catalogs and find music with guaranteed originality. Mark the difference with music of signature at Leerecs.com.